I did a search for Captain Marvel through the ages just to see where we're coming from and where we're going in a stunning and brave new world. Back when Captain Marvel used to sell and be, oh, hey, look, a cute Captain Marvel with a little kitty on her shoulder. These kitties are cute. 3 issues. Good going, guys. Captain Marvel with titties and looking with a short hair. And the other female also has boobs and short hair. It must be a requirement. Captain Marvel went 10 issues this time. 2016, looking like a full-on transgender. Pre-implants. Monica Rambeau, looking feminine with boobs. Captain Marvel back to looking like a man. Captain Marvel when he was a man. In 1995, when comics were still comics. Captain Marvel, fully out of the closet, trans. The Mighty Captain Marvel, congratulations, you went 9 issues. Good going, guys. I don't think these are related. Captain Marvel 2014, a whole whopping 15 issues. Wow, something to be proud of. 2012, cute pixie face, boobs, hips. 2012, 2014, it was before Trump derangement syndrome, so things were different. It was still very, very woke, but it wasn't, my God, it wasn't like we have now. 1968, back when comics were comics, words I can't even say on YouTube. I don't know if you can see this. Big premiere issue, out of the hologram, a hero. You know, I didn't even notice that before. I can't say that on YouTube. 12 cents, huh? Oh, gosh. Comics were so much fun back in the day. Let's see what happened. 1999. I don't remember that one. 35 issues. Captain Marvel, 2008. Looking jack, bro. Monica Rambeau. And this is where we are today. Captain Marvel, still looking trans, but, gosh darn you. But at least she has boobs now. Big old fake boobs. This is where we are in current year. Captain Marvel 13, it's actually not bad because it has Iron Man in it. And they should definitely have more Iron Man and less Captain Marvel. In fact, just keep her as an ancillary character. Just rename the comic to that cool character that you enjoy, Iron Man, and that crappy character that nobody cares about. She looks like a man, but she has no breasts, so we know that she's supposed to be a woman. Oh, the Kree space. I'll get back to them in a minute. Captain Marvel's costume. Oh, Tony Stark. Tony, is this coming in? Are you seeing this? Tony Stark in. Why? I mean, I know why, because you people are evil. That's why. That's the answer to every question. It's, why does Marvel or DC do the things they do? Because they're pure evil. How about that for an answer? Why not just give him a furry tail? You know, I mean, complete the ensemble. And maybe, like bunny rabbit ears. Just, why, Marvel? Okay, so Captain Marvel's costume, you can see, is a flaming hair, just a black and red suit. Here's the thing. We need to connect with characters on a human level. And when you draw a shapeless character that could be a skinny man or a very athletic woman with the face covered, there's no way to connect with it. It's just a puppet. Then they compound the error by making her so overpowered, just a giant Mary Sue. It's a comic that can only appeal to children. The writing is so bad, it feels more like fan fiction and not a professional writer, which makes a whole lot of sense because they don't hire writers on merit. They hire them on basically virtue signaling diversity points. And the fact that some of the people are proud to be working for Marvel or DC when they clearly only got hired because of their sex or the amount of pigmentation in their skin or their religious beliefs. And they're proud of that. I would be humiliated. I mean, I would still take the job, of course, but my God, I would just do the best I could and try to keep a low profile. The fact that they go out on Twitter, I mean, if you want to see derangement, go read Mags Sazio's Twitter timeline, or anyone who works in the industry. The writers, read the writers' timelines. Their minds are gone. Anyway, there's a scene Well, she's fighting Iron Man, and he's doing pretty well, blasting her away. Because he's the interesting character. When you read this, your eyes are automatically drawn to Iron Man because you want to see more about him. Iron Man and Tony Stark is an interesting character. This faceless, shapeless, breastless, hipless character who's wearing some rags around her hips to somehow make sure you cover up that crotch, that's just a stupid costume. It looks like pieces of a skirt with a scarf attached to it. Why would you have these two strips hanging down? This is just dumb. This is stupid. So she effortlessly beats up Iron Man, takes him apart, and he's in a bathrobe, but not a cool Hugh Hefner robe, but a frilly, effeminate robe because he's a bitch. And Captain Marvel is the man who bends Tony over and sodomizes him before she kills him. Well, I just added that last part, but I guarantee you that the idiots at Marvel were considering that option. We must resist Trump and fight the patriarchy by becoming monsters. There's a scene. Oh, look, he's in a bathrobe in space. Da, 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 da. Stop it, dog. Stop. She's talking to Thor, and notice the left-hand image. She's only a few inches shorter than Thor. You know, the god of thunder or something. I hate this kind of stuff. It's feminism at its most. Word I can't say on YouTube. They can't accept the fact that Thor is, I don't know, 6'6" or something. Carol, say she's anywhere from 5'3" to say at her tallest 5'10". So Thor is only 2 inches taller than she is. That is stupid. Men and women are different. Brie Larson is 5'7", and that's tall for a chick, but she isn't 6'2". Biological sex is real. It's not just a social construct. That's part of the reason the NPCs substitute the term gender for sex. Because when it comes down to it, you can't change your sex. If you're XY, then that is what you will be until you die. Usually by suicide, because that 41% ain't no joke. There are memes on Twitter that show a 10-year-old boy, a 15-year-old boy dressed as a girl, then a 25-year-old hanging from a noose. Then 1,000 years in the future, an archaeologist digs up the bones and finds a man. It is a brutal meme, but maybe it's time for a little honesty. And before you freak out, remember that I am LGBTCG. My gender is Comicsgate. It's how I choose to identify, and it's not a phase, Dad. You ever wonder what happens to transgenders when they grow up? I mean, the 59% that don't run their car in the garage after taking a bottle of painkillers and a glass of wine. They should sell t-shirts that say, I survived being a trans trender. Turned out that I was just doing it for the attention. All jokes aside, knock off this attention-seeking behavior. Marry your high school sweetheart and have kids. Go to church and live a nice life. You aren't gay or trans, you just want attention. Yes, it is just a phase. I say I got distracted, which is easy to do because this comic book sucks hairy balls, or hairy snatch, depending on your preference. Then Captain Marvel introduces the space Jews / Mexicans / Muslims because mainstream comics don't just tell a story. Everything is an analogy or parable about immigration or some other bullshit because the people who write and edit comics are actual socialists. A quick aside, I was listening to Quentin reviews in the background. He was talking about the worst memes of the past few years. The guy is, I'll call him a chubby neckbeard, who was calling other chubby neckbeards. I made a few comments in the live stream, but I'm sure I'm banned by now. And whenever I see a bunch of my videos have a lot of downvotes, I know it's them, because even when my videos blow, which is often, most people don't downvote them. They just kind of click on something else, probably because they feel bad for me. Anyway, Quentin's live stream had a bunch of teenage virgins calling other people virgins for daring to laugh at memes, which are funny. The irony was pretty deep. Suddenly memes are offensive, which just proves that the left has no sense of humor because there are so many protected classes of people who must not be made fun of. The Hindus, Jews, Muslims, literally only the Christians can be made fun of. No racial group must be made fun of but the Western Europeans. It is pure R word I can't say on YouTube and bundle of sticks. Either it's all okay or none of it is. Oh, okay, so the space Muslims, Cree, something, diversity is our strength. Just see how well that's working out for Western Europe and America, otherwise known as Eurostan and Estados Unidos. They can't just tell a fun story. They have to insert propaganda into everything. If they didn't, the Twitter sociopaths would bitch and fuss and piss and moan, even though they don't buy the product in the first place. Mostly because nobody's buying the product. I could look up the Captain Marvel sales figures, but this is the 13th issue. I don't even know what it's down to, but I'm surprised it went this far, and it probably will not go much further. So Captain Marvel, Carol Manvers, Carl Manvers, so edgy Marvel, meets the final boss, the Drumpf patriarchy figure, who blows up a refugee camp full of peaceful religion of peace Cree, totally not space Muslims, Jews, Mexicans, whatever. But it's funny that the building sort of looks like the Pentagon, which, if you remember from that event in September a few decades ago, or not even 2 decades ago, the Cree, the space Muslims, actually did crash a passenger airplane into the Pentagon, killing a bunch of people. But apparently those are hate facts, and hate facts are haram. Why are you doing... Oh, I know why you're doing this, because you're legitimate Marxists. I know I use that term all the time, and it sounds like tinfoil hat bull BS, but legitimately they are. They really think it will work next time. Okay, so I guess this is your target audience. This guy writes a letter which sounds like he's asking for a job. Love the series, guys. Love sharing it with my daughter even more. I appreciate the fact that she has strong, well-written characters like Carol Danvers to inspire her. I'm a graphic designer, so I just had to show you how excited she was to see the Captain Marvel movie. Keep up the great work. If you made your kid watch that movie, I know it's like, what is 6, 8 years old, had a lot of explosions, so maybe a 6-year-old will see Carol shooting laser beams and stuff like that. That was not a good movie. Marvel movies are not Shakespeare, but even for Marvel movies, that was one of the worst ones. Dark Phoenix was on the bottom of the list. I didn't like Venom either. Black Panther was pretty mediocre. There were some good ones, but Captain Marvel was not one of them. And I hope and pray Captain Marvel 2 comes out very, very soon. They've got Brie Larson doing the talk show circuits, showing her boobs, which apparently she's got like a small C cup and a rockin' body. So she's showing that off, and she's trying to like pretend to be human. So she smiles and shows her cleavage on these shows, and it's something must be wrong with the studios, because even though the first Captain Marvel made $1 billion, you would think that is a very, very strong showing. So the next film should be in the bag, but something is wrong, because she got famous because she made a bunch of racist, sexist, ageist comments about people, and she thought she's just above the repercussions. And the film made $1 billion, so it proved that the fanboys were not boycotting the film. In fact, they were like 60% of the audience. But something is going on, because she's doing this rehab circuit, and I don't see why she needs to. If one film made $1 billion, the second film's probably going to do the same. So why is she suddenly kissing ass and pretending to be human? It's kind of weird. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, guys. You can send me email at BiancaZombie602, or you can send at gmail.com, or you can send me art for the channel. I love to look at your art, or send me whatever inside information, or just bitches and gripes and complaints. That's fine. Click the links in the description, yada yada. Follow me on Twitter, because I'm probably not long for that platform or this platform. And check me out on the alternative platform, BitChute. Alright guys, I will see you all next episode.